If you look at the solutions in Project Drawdown, except for 2 or 3 of them, we would want to do every single one of those solutions regardless of whether you understand climate science, whether it's warming or whether it's not, or whether there's more CO2 up there or it's having an effect, because they have so many cascading beneficial impacts and effects on human health, on security, on jobs, on economic well-being, on peace. The list goes on and on and on. So the solutions to reversing global warming are the solutions to many things. They engender economic and ecological regeneration. In other words, they bring more life back to people, place, planet, animals, diversity, forests, oceans, fisheries, you name it. And they do it in such a way that actually people benefit. That is, it's not over there and you stay poor over here. It actually brings those two together, those who lack and the carnage, the destruction that's being visited upon our living systems, both up in the air, in the atmosphere, all the way down to the bottom of the ocean. There has been a silver bullet mentality in the climate movement, as if there was some magical solution, that would solve it all or pretty much all of it. And there still is that mindset. The real game changer are people and communities and human beings. Those are the game changers because it's our game. We created it. We're the only ones that can change it. Technology can't change the game. So when we went out, we had the same question I think everyone has, which is, well, what should I do? What should we do? What we do know, given the science, is that the odds are really long. And my attitude is, let's take them. Cool. I like long odds. It's very motivating. And you just accept them. It's not a matter of saying, well, we shouldn't, I want even odds or better odds. No, they're just odds. And to me, it's a question of whether it's game over or game on. This is a game on moment as opposed to a game over moment. And what we are doing, smaller we, is reflecting back to humanity its collective wisdom. And what we're saying is, actually, we are on the case. That it's not as though we're numb and dumb and stupid. We actually do know what to do. We are doing it. We modeled what is. That's why we know it's possible. And in so doing, we're trying to reflect back to the greater we that we're on the case. Not only do we know what to do and are doing it, but humanity is just extraordinarily brilliant and such genius in us, And what's coming, that is what we didn't model, is extraordinary. And if you can't get from that a sense of well, it's game on, then you should probably do something else. But for me, and for I think everybody who's been touched by it and who's touched it by creating it, there is a sense that the odds are irrelevant. For game changers, there's a quote in the book, and it says the one thing we haven't looked at is our mind. It's our thinking. Our thinking caused it. And when you change your thinking, it's a completely different world. You see a completely different world. And part of that is to understand that there is possibility in a way that is grounded, science-based, practical, doable right now. The purpose of the book is, at the end of it, I hope that the reader understands that if we're going to solve this civilizational crisis, we have to hold hands and collaborate. And to do so, we have to actually listen to those people who deny, people who don't believe, quote, quote, to people who think the science says something else. And that is how we create change, not by dividing, not by polarizing, not by polemics, not by anything that it says that others are other. In other words, that you're other, you're not as good, as well, as important, as meaningful, as contributing as these people over here. And whether you're bend towards the activist side or the research side or the amelioration side or the attending to suffering side. I mean, there's so many different ways, you can, reach out to this world. It doesn't make any difference. We need them all. Even those who deny the science, we shouldn't really demonize or criticize them. They're doing the best they can. They are. Everyone's doing the best they can. We can sit back and say, you're not doing well enough or good enough, or that's really inappropriate. That's your judgment, that's your mind. But the fact is, they are doing the best they can. And when we get off of our sort of, position of knowing more, being better, and seeing them as lesser, then we can actually hear what they're saying. And it's really important, if we're going to make this change, that we listen. Is global warming happening to us or for us? Because if it's happening to you, you're the victim, you're the object, you got born at the wrong time, short end of the stick, not fair, you want to sue Exxon, you want to make somebody wrong, you want to demonize, you want to blame somebody else for how you feel and what's happening. It's not a great place to live or be or think or create. And if it happens for you, if global warming happens for us, what does that mean? First of all, it means that it's beautiful feedback. It's feedback. If without feedback, we really suffer and get stupid at least. And not only is it great feedback, but it tells us what to do. It feeds our imagination. It feeds creativity. It feeds innovation. And it feeds a meaningful life. And you couldn't have a more meaningful life than to take on the greatest crisis human civilization has ever faced. And it's like, here, I have a gift for you. What is it? It's this, civilizational crisis. You came just at the right time. And we know what to do. That's the most important. We do know what to do. And this idea that, that the media keeps putting in our face, is that, that the 7 deadly sins are preeminent now and rule the world, and that's not true. And we just are blinded to it by what we read and see. And this is about changing who we are, how we think, how we speak, how we talk to each other, how we act. And I can't think of anything that would give more meaning to a person's life, than global warming. Everyone is innocent. Really, and the idea that somehow there's bad people out there and, and there's people who understand and they're good people, and is just really, again, dualistic thinking. The fact is, we were all innocent, and our ancestors were innocent too. They didn't know. They were trying to do the right thing, the best thing. And so when you know, then you can make a choice. It's your choice.